Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. This is Brandon from Heart's Journey Coaching, and I want to deal with something that you're probably struggling with right now, which is, 'tis the season to be incredibly stressed. So if you're like most people, you're hitting the point of December where you're just starting to get overwhelmed, things are getting all over the place, you've got a ton of things to do, maybe you've got Christmas shopping, maybe you've got a bunch of obligations you're trying to get to. But whatever the case may be, you're probably overwhelmed. And so what I thought I would do for this video is I would talk with you guys about a very simple tip I use to engage in stress management. And it's a very easy thing. It's just basically what I like to call a daily check-in. And this is something I do pretty much every day. And it just helps you rebalance your life and make sure that you're not getting overwhelmed. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 5 minutes out of your day, and you're going to be asking yourself a series of questions. You're going to be basically taking a personal inventory of yourself, seeing where you are. So the first thing you're going to do with this is you're going to stop and think about your physical self. So you're going to ask questions about how you're physically feeling. Do you feel any stress? Do you feel any tension in your shoulders? Is there any part of you that's experiencing aches or pains? Like I'm feeling a little bit in my back right now, probably because I've been doing some stuff and I have back problems. You're going to want to pay attention to everything that you're feeling. And you're going to want to check to make sure that you've slept well, that you've ate well. You're going to want to just make sure that everything with your physical body has been cared for. And if not, those are things that you now know that you need to take care of. So that's just a very basic one. You just ask yourself all the things about your physical self. Then you need to go to more your mental self. So your mental self is going to be checking in with all the stuff that's going on with you mentally. Do you feel very focused or are you distracted? Do you find yourself feeling mentally overwhelmed? Have you been thinking about a lot of things, or has your mind gotten a lot of rest lately? What sort of things has your mind been processing? Have you been worrying a lot? These are all things you want to check as well. Check where your mental state is. The third thing you want to do is then check your emotional state. So your emotional state is going to be basically how you're feeling. So this is things like, are you happy? Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you overwhelmed? And you're also going to want to check how stressed you feel. Does something feel off? Is there some part of you that feels like it's not getting taken care of? Is there anything that's been bugging you lately? This is going to be very important because this is going to give you some red flags if something's going on. If for some reason you feel kind of upset or you feel angry and you're not sure why, this is an opportunity for you to notice that and then go investigate what's causing it. All right, so let's say you've done that. So if you've taken care of your mental, physical, and emotional self, the next thing you're going to want to do is to start checking some more broader topics. So for example, your needs. Check your needs. What needs do you commonly have come up that you regularly neglect? Do you feel like you've been getting enough rest, that you've been taking care of yourself? Have you gotten enough socializing and time with your friends? Have you been feeling satisfied in your relationships, your finances, your career? Go through anything that you commonly feel a lack in and see where you're feeling with it. If it's starting to feel a little bit, if you're starting to feel a little bit neglected in an area, that's an area you want to shift your attention to. And the next thing you want to do with all this is you're going to want to actually check your focus. Have you been focusing a lot on things in the present or things in the future or things in the past? We as people tend to very much get lost in the past or the future and not spend enough time in the present, though the opposite can be possible too. You can spend too much time focusing on now and not enough making plans. So this is something else you want to check. Are you spending enough time balanced between planning for things that you're going to be doing and learning from your mistakes and ensuring that you're enjoying right now? Are you taking that time to appreciate everything that's going on right now, or are you only focused on things that need to get done? Make sure that you're giving yourself some level of appreciation, some gratitude, and some time to just take in the moment as it is, and that you're actually letting yourself be happy. If happiness is always something in the future, you're never going to really, if it's always something in the future or something in the past, I should say, it's never really going to be something that you're going to be satisfied with. And then my last tip for you is probably a big one, which is if you're engaging this, there might be a chance that you'll engage in what I like to call a downward spiral. So the downward spiral is something where you start looking at the different areas of your life and how you're feeling about them, and you identify some things you're unsatisfied with. And then when you start identifying those things, those lead you to other things that you're unhappy with. And it proceeds to start snowballing, and you get into this big down spiral where you start becoming incredibly depressed, incredibly negative, and very victimized. Now, this is something that's very common for a lot of people. I know I've had it sometimes, and the big thing is if this is something that's going to happen to you, you need to be checking in with yourself and making sure that you're looking at your situation in a balanced fashion. Yeah, there are going to be things that you're struggling with, things that aren't going great, but make sure you're asking yourself the questions like, what's going well? What have I done well recently? What accomplishments have happened recently? Where have I succeeded? What things have just been successful? What's going to go right with my life? And make sure you're asking those questions, because it's very easy to be asking only the things that are bad. And so you want to make sure you got that balance. And if even with doing that you find that you're struggling, then you may be struggling with something where you're feeling like you're not enough and you've got this message going on, which then there's some other things that I'll probably talk about in another video on how to deal with that. Or you need to basically learn how to have a little bit more mastery over your own mind. And that's where things like practices in meditation, yoga, tai chi, any sort of mindfulness practice come into play. But anyway, so this is just kind of something that I do every day, where I just go through all these questions, and it's a lot of them. But in 5 minutes, you can cover all of them. And the goal of this really is to know where you are emotionally, physically, mentally, and just in your general life. If you know where you are, you know what you need to do to be in a lifestyle where you're going to feel less stressed, you're going to feel more balanced, and you're going to start taking steps towards that. A lot of the reason we experience stress is because we're unaware of when we're having it, and we're unaware of how to manage it when it hits. So doing this will allow you to start developing those battle plans and start developing a way that's like, that you can look at your life and go like, okay, I've got this dinner I need to be at and this other event, and I got to go Christmas shopping, and I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. You can tune into yourself and see that that's happening and start cutting back, or start figuring out, well, maybe I don't need to go to that dinner, or maybe I can ask someone else to help me do my shopping. And you can start reestablishing that balance. So this is just some food for thought for you guys, and I hope it was helpful. All right. So anyway, take care.